Imagine a ruler so powerful that vast lands stretched under his authority. Yet he feared being questioned by Allah more than he feared losing his throne. Imagine a leader whose greatest concern was not building magnificent palaces or collecting endless wealth, but ensuring that every orphan, widow, traveler, and poor family received justice. What Islam's 1,400-year history says about Umar ibn Al-Khattab, R.A., is that true greatness is never measured by power alone, but by the honesty, humility, and accountability with which that power is exercised. More than 14 centuries have passed since Umar ibn Al-Khattab, R.A., walked the streets of Medina, yet his remarkable example continues to inspire millions who search for genuine leadership in a world often overshadowed by corruption and injustice. As the second rightly guided Caliph, Umar, R.A., inherited a rapidly growing Islamic state that stretched across distant regions and embraced people from different cultures, languages, and traditions. Although the responsibilities before him were enormous, he never allowed authority to distance him from ordinary people. Instead, every decision reflected his unwavering commitment to fairness, sincerity, and obedience to Allah. His leadership demonstrated that justice is not merely a law written on paper, but a living principle practiced through courage, compassion, and personal sacrifice. Umar, R.A., understood that every position of authority carried a heavy responsibility before Allah, and this awareness shaped every action throughout his life. Rather than surrounding himself with luxury, he embraced simplicity, wearing modest clothing and living in a humble manner that reminded everyone that leadership was a trust rather than a privilege. He believed that the strongest government was one in which the weakest citizen could confidently seek justice without fear. Every governor appointed under his rule was expected to uphold honesty and integrity, knowing that no official stood above accountability. Whenever reports of unfair treatment reached him, he investigated them with determination because he believed that protecting the rights of every individual was among the greatest responsibilities entrusted to a Muslim leader. His commitment to equality reached beyond differences of wealth, tribe, or social status, proving that justice must remain blind to worldly distinctions. As the Islamic State expanded across vast territories, many expected its ruler to become distant and inaccessible. Yet Umar, R.A., consistently surprised everyone by remaining close to the people. He frequently walked through the streets, observed daily life with his own eyes, listened carefully to public concerns, and sought practical solutions before small problems became great hardships. These actions were not performed for praise or recognition, but because his heart remained deeply conscious that Allah watched every hidden intention. Through this extraordinary character, Islam's 1,400-year history teaches that civilizations become truly powerful only when justice protects every member of society, reminding every generation that the lasting strength of a nation is built not upon wealth, armies, or expanding borders, but upon unwavering righteousness, sincere accountability, fearless honesty, and complete trust in the commands of Allah. As the Islamic State continued to expand across Persia, Syria, Egypt, and beyond, the responsibilities resting upon Umar ibn Al-Khattab, R.A., became heavier than ever before, and the true strength of his leadership was tested in ways that would define history forever. Every newly conquered land brought fresh opportunities, but it also carried difficult challenges that demanded wisdom, patience, and unwavering justice. Many rulers throughout history had allowed success to fill their hearts with pride, yet Umar, R.A., became even more humble as his authority increased. He understood that every victory granted by Allah also brought greater accountability, and he constantly reminded himself that a leader would one day stand before the Creator to answer for every decision, every judgment, and every neglected responsibility. His nights were often spent walking quietly through the streets of Medina, not surrounded by guards or royal processions, but alone, observing the condition of his people with his own eyes. During one of these nighttime patrols, he encountered families struggling with hunger and hardship, moments that deeply affected his heart and strengthened his determination to protect every citizen under his care. Instead of assigning the burden to others, he personally carried sacks of food upon his own shoulders, refusing to allow another person to bear a responsibility that belonged to him. Those simple yet extraordinary actions revealed that true leadership begins with service rather than privilege. At the same time, governors appointed across the growing Islamic State knew they were never beyond accountability because Umar regularly reviewed their conduct, investigated complaints, and dismissed officials who abused their authority, regardless of their reputation or influence. Wealth, family connections, and political status never protected anyone from justice under his rule, and this unwavering commitment earned the trust of people from many different backgrounds. Yet beneath these inspiring examples lay an even greater challenge that would reveal the depth of his character. As the empire continued expanding at an astonishing pace, countless treasures flowed into Medina from newly governed regions. Precious gold, silver, luxurious garments, and valuable resources arrived in quantities that few leaders in history had ever witnessed. Many observers wondered whether such unimaginable prosperity would eventually change the man whose simple clothing and modest lifestyle had become symbols of humility. This moment became a silent test, not only for Umar, but also for the principles upon which the Islamic State had been built. History held its breath as enormous wealth stood before a ruler who possessed absolute authority over vast territories. Would comfort replace sacrifice, or would righteousness remain stronger than temptation? What Islam's 1,400-year history says about this defining moment is that the greatest battles are often fought within the human heart rather than upon the battlefield. The answer to that question would not only shape the future of the Islamic civilization, but also leave behind one of the most powerful lessons in honesty, integrity, and leadership that continues to inspire humanity more than 14 centuries later. History ultimately revealed that the treasures of the world could never capture the heart of Umar ibn Al-Khattab, because his greatest ambition was not to be remembered as the most powerful ruler of his age, but as a faithful servant of Allah who fulfilled every trust with sincerity. Despite commanding one of the largest empires of his time, he continued to live with remarkable simplicity, choosing humility over luxury and responsibility over comfort. The wealth that entered the Islamic treasury was regarded as a trust for the people rather than a personal possession, and every decision concerning public resources reflected his deep commitment to fairness and accountability. He remained convinced that justice was not complete unless every individual, regardless of social position or background, enjoyed equal protection under the law. His courts treated the weak and the powerful alike, reminding society that no human being stood above truth or beneath dignity. Even when difficult judgments involved influential individuals, Umar, refused to compromise principles for convenience, demonstrating that genuine leadership requires moral courage long before it demands political strength. His example established a standard that inspired governors, judges, military commanders, and ordinary citizens to value honesty above personal gain and service above status. What Islam's 1,400-year history says about Umar ibn Al-Khattab, is that civilizations flourish when leaders fear Allah more than they fear losing authority, because such fear nurtures compassion, self-discipline, and unwavering justice. His life teaches that real success is not measured by expanding borders, increasing wealth, or receiving praise from people, but by protecting the rights of the vulnerable, speaking the truth without hesitation, and fulfilling every responsibility with complete integrity. More than 14 centuries have passed, yet the lessons of his remarkable leadership remain as meaningful today as they were in the streets of Medina. In a world searching for trustworthy leadership, his character reminds humanity that justice begins within the heart before it transforms a nation. Every act of fairness strengthens communities, every honest decision builds lasting trust, and every sacrifice made for the sake of righteousness leaves an impact that time cannot erase. His legacy continues to encourage believers to become people of integrity within their own families, workplaces, and societies, proving that lasting change always begins with personal accountability. The story of Umar ibn Al-Khattab, R.A., is therefore not merely a chapter of Islamic history, but a timeless reminder that faith, humility, and justice possess the power to shape generations. His extraordinary example continues to illuminate the path for those who seek wisdom, fairness, and sincere devotion to Allah, confirming that the strongest foundation of any civilization is righteous character guided by divine principles. If you are benefiting from our topics, please subscribe, like, and turn on the bell notification so you can see our new videos early.